Good afternoon. We are here today at a great event, Metaverse Networking. It's such a pleasure to meet the CEO and founder of Buralux Group. Good afternoon, Leila.
Hello, good afternoon, Aliona. How are you?
I'm very great. Thank you so much. Thank you for inviting to this amazing event. Can you tell us more? How did you come with the idea? Can you tell me more about your background and what do you do?
So I founded Burlux Group on the main ideology of empowering women across multidisciplinary industries. And since UAE is always a visionary country, we have had this new news coming out about the Dubai Metaverse strategy. And so I thought, what a better way to engage and empower women is through creating those type of events, small workshop events that connect all the different women across all the industries and to learn about the Web3 industry. So this is how, through Burolux Group, we are creating possibilities for all the women across all the different industries, whether you're an artist, whether you're in healthcare, whether you're in technology. Please come and join our events because they're very useful. We create communities, we create binding, we promote diversity as well. And we want to make sure that we create accessibility and knowledge and awareness to all the women out there.
Please meet Dr. Jane Thomason, founder Global Meta Blockchain. Good afternoon, Doctor. Can you tell us more about your foundation, your organization? How did you come with the idea and what you bring to the world?
Well, I'm really inspired by the potential for blockchain and all of the new technologies to create social impact. So since 2017, I've really been on a mission to share those ideas with people, to find the startups that are working on these different problems, whether it's identity or supply chain or healthcare or climate, and help shine a light on them so the world can understand the potential of technology to really help some of our problems.
Yes, and at the part of your presentation, you was talking about the metaverse, and what I liked about it is related to the educational part via the gaming. Why do you think it's important to do more interactive way of studying and learning?
Well, gaming makes things interesting for people. That's why there are 2 billion gamers in the world, because they enjoy it and they have fun. But I think what's really interesting about education is that you can incentivize people to learn and they can actually earn money through learning. And we're creating new economies. So the play to earn games was the first, but now we're having earn to learn and we're having exercise to earn. And I think we're going to see a whole lot of other new economies developing where we're incentivizing people to do other things. And education, I think, is a really obvious example where the metaverse is going to really help.
Absolutely. And can you share with us what's your biggest plan related to the field you're working in, if it is not a secret?
No, it's not a secret. What I really want to do here is to collaborate with people to create a tech for social impact and sustainability ecosystem that brings together everyone from government, startups, funders, investors, academics, researchers, so that we can all collaborate to make UAE a centre for tech and sustainability and then share it, because the UAE is sitting in the middle of the largest population groups in the world that have a great deal of need, and we can share it to those populations as well.
Good afternoon. I would like to present Harold Dickinson. You are the only one gentleman speaker today. How did you get this privilege?
To be honest, I think it was more of a knowledge sharing activity because they knew that we had this kind of information and everyone benefits from information. We're invited to come and speak, and I'm very happy that they did invite us here. Yes.
Thank you. So, can you tell us more of what do you do and why it is important and connected, how it's connected with emerging technologies?
Sure. So the company I own and manage is called Kanasai, and we're an immersive technology company. For the last 4 years in Dubai, we've been developing augmented reality, virtual reality, and immersive experiences. Now, I myself have been in the field for over 6 years, And we are looking at how technology is affecting everything within our scope or within the industries here. And a lot of times we find that technology comes to the UAE a lot later than other parts of the world. So we started partnering with other companies and other services throughout the world to bring the technology here as it's been developed in the Americas and also in Europe. So we want to have that push of bringing the technology here so that the UAE is not playing catch up. We're actually leading. And if you look at the leadership now, this is the stance that they're taking. I'm glad to be here because it's exciting time to be in this field.
Absolutely, I think it's just the perfect time for it. You said you're in industry for 6 years. So can you give this comparison from what you started and where you reach now?
Sure. So when we first started, telling people about AR and VR was like telling them 50 years into the future, right? Every time you showed what the examples were, it was like, oh my God, how are you doing this? Now people understand the technology, and it's gone from educating the populace on what the technology is to now telling them how can we use the technology or discuss with them how can we get the technology in your company, in your industry, how can we help it to interact with your audience. And this is how the conversations have changed. We're now stop educating about what technology is and start looking at how we can implement it, which is fantastic.
Please welcome and meet Sarah Asal, founder and CEO, Shaverne Web Design. How are you today? How was the event? Can you tell us more about yourself and your project?
So today's event was amazing. I'm very, very grateful to Berlux. And we were basically involved with artificial intelligence and virtual reality in healthcare. So we support hospitals and clinics. We are combating burnout and waiting time. We're trying to improve the profitability across the healthcare industry. And we wanted to basically change the lives of both healthcare professionals and the patients as well, and everybody involved.
Thank you. I know that behind your project is your personal story.
Yeah.
What is that? Can you share it with us?
It's a bit of a long story. It started first with my brother who had Down syndrome, and he couldn't communicate and he needed healthcare. And at the time, there was no available emergency vehicle to come and take him. So instead of just visiting him at the hospital, we were taking him to the funeral. And I was the last one to basically hold him in my hands. So that was really huge impact on me. So after that, I went into my master's degree where I was taking brain signals for Down syndrome children. I was working on their curriculum and education. I was trying to find a way to communicate with them to help their parents not go through what we've been through. And then because I was taking on so much work, I was working like between 6 a.m. and I would get back home at 2 a.m. between the masters and the work. I myself went through burnout. So I found myself at an emergency room with a cyst size of 8 centimeters, and I needed surgery. Again, I needed healthcare. And it was blocked. Like, it was very difficult for me to get it. So after I recovered, I had to go into IVF because that's what happens when you have a cyst on your right ovary. It's
Very creativity. How are you feeling today?
Hi, I'm feeling very excited and gratified to have met so many amazing people today. The speakers were really inspirational, and there was so much wisdom in their presentations that I could tie in with my own professional methods and message, because we are one synergized unit. We might think we're individual business owners or entrepreneurs, but we are part of the ecosystem of humanity. And therefore, it's important for us to continuously educate ourselves so that we may all grow at the same pace.
Absolutely. But your presentation was just mind blowing. Art, tell us more. Why art is so important in daily life, why art is important for us, for community, for the world.
Creativity is the one factor that separates humans from animals. While some animals try and build something pretty, it's functional. They don't often decorate just for the pure joy of decoration. So, as a human, the creative factor is the one element that we can use to recharge our creative spirit, our innovative spirit, our humanity, our capacity for creating and innovating. And a lot of people neglect this, unfortunately. With electronic media, especially, we do not use our senses as much, and our senses become
they almost go into standby mode. And you don't feel as creative anymore. You feel drained much more quickly. And as I explained earlier, when you create and innovate, you receive an immense boost of adrenaline, inspiration, happiness, and joy. But it never lasts long because people forget to refill their creative tank, and that battery needs constant reinforcement. So for me, art as a physical expression of my soul and my message, yes, an artist appreciates that, but the rest of the world needs to understand that art is a language. And you can use that language to make a decorative object, or you can use that language to reinforce your own creative mindset.
Please welcome Christina Siban, founder Women Do Crypto. Good afternoon, Christina. How are you feeling today?
Very good, Alona. Thank you.
How was your presentation? How do you feel about it? You have such a controversial name, Women Do Crypto. How did you come with that idea?
I think it's very explicit name because I wanted it to really resonate with what I'm doing. And because I'm doing my meetups for women, providing information in blockchain and cryptocurrency only for women, I decided the name be really explicit, Women Do Crypto.
It's very memorable. So you don't invite in your community men at all?
Let's say yes, if they can provide us information from the crypto industry, they're very welcome.
All right. And do you remember your first organized meetup? Like, what did you learn from there? Did it change during the time you're doing your business and how it's evolved?
Of course, I remember it. It was with my friends mainly because they asked me for teaching them about cryptocurrency industry, and I reunited with them, and it was really, really funny at the same time because it was my first experience of teaching crypto and explaining them how it works, and I'm sure that brought them results.
All right. And did you make a count of how many women by now, thanks to your help and support, are more knowledgeable about the cryptos nowadays?
Honestly, not. I didn't count it because, in addition to make or organize meetups weekly, also I provide the information through social media. So, information through posts, through articles, I think also reached women and spoke about the crypto industry.
Please welcome Leila Harstel. How are you, Leila? How do you feel?
Really well, thank you so much. Thanks for having me today.
How do you find the event? Was it really practical for you and for your business?
It was honestly amazing. I made so many connections. Everyone is extremely welcoming and warm. And it's really nice to see more females coming to this crypto event as well, because most events like in Web3, it's very male dominated still. So it's a really big step towards creating a more diverse and inclusive ecosystem.
Absolutely. And I know that you were keeping as a secret for a while before we start the meetup about what you do. Now, can you reveal the secret and tell us more about your business?
Of course, yeah. I wanted to keep it secret before my speech to make some
Some buzz.
But anyways, I'm the founder of All Stars Women, which is an initiative to help close the gender funding gap for females and to shape a more diverse and inclusive metaverse and entrepreneurial ecosystem. And we're basically a collaborative community and network of female founders, entrepreneurs, and investors. And we come together to collaborate, join forces, and we also provide educational masterclasses, and we provide all the tools necessary for females to make their startups a success. And aside from this, I'm also the Chief Metaverse Officer at Verse Estate. It's a hyper-realistic metaverse, and we implement NFT and play-to-earn gaming solutions. Over the next 2 years, we're going to build a full metaverse ecosystem in which we replicate the real-life digital economy, but digitally.
And do you remember the moments when you first time came with this idea?
So, in terms of All Stars Women, I was progressing through the Web3 space. I initially started by founding the fintech platform called On & Co, which digitizes alternative investments. And I realized the power around NFTs and DAOs. and how it could really change the paradigm in the Web3 ecosystem, and how through those you can reach like a huge amount of people, and it's all about making everything so like diversified and decentralized. That's how I started with All Stars Women.